Fireball's Quest, Chapter 1, A Hearth-warming Gift. Lingwei. It was a snowy night. The wind was blowing heavily, thunder was rumbling, and snow was falling heavily to the ground below. It was December, and it was Hearth-warming Eve. Ponies would be at their tree, ripping off the wrapping paper of their presents that they got from relatives, parents, siblings, or grandparents, and drinking hot chocolate with delicious pink or white marshmallows. There would also be some ice skating, if the lake was frozen solid enough and no pony could fall through and possibly freeze to death. On a path, a unicorn mare and stallion were trotting together. The mare was levitating a bundle close to her chest. She had tears in her eyes, while the stallion was levitating a cardboard box. She had wrapped herself in a cloak, and the hood was covering her face, as was the stallion's. Still having faces with sadness, the two walked to a village and came across a castle. It didn't look like the usual royal castles that other countries had. It just looked like an ordinary castle that would have belonged to a noble family instead of a big mansion. The unicorn stallion put the cardboard box onto the snowy ground near the steps, took out a black marker, and wrote, "Please raise her well," on it. The mare stared down at the bundle that she held and shed a few tears and gave it a final hug and kiss. "We have no other choice, sweetheart. We can't do it the worst possible way. I hope they don't find her and get us or her killed." The stallion responded with a choked voice, and he put his hoof onto her shoulder. The mare opened the box and settled the bundle into it. "I hope these nice ponies raise her into a beautiful young mare and she'll find true love," the mare said in the same voice as the stallion's, and she started to sob. The two then walked away while the storm still raged. "Happy Hearth-warming Eve, Daddy!" 4-year-old Caramel squealed to her dad, Peppermint. Caramel was the youngest of the triplets in the family. She had a white body, yellow hair, and eyes that had the color of melting chocolate. She was the daddy's filly, and he got along with her better than the other two. She didn't have a cutie mark like her siblings. She hoped to get it so she could fit in at the school that she was attending. "Open my present first!" While the triplet's Honey screamed, and she pushed her present towards him. Honey was the middle triplet, and she had a light orange body, golden hair, and yellow eyes. She was closer to her mum, Sugar, and to Caramel. "No, open mine first!" The oldest triplet and the only colt, Cinnamon, yelled and pushed Honey out of the way, and soon they were wrestling on the floor until Peppermint separated them. Cinnamon had a light brown body, dark brown hair, and dark green eyes. He was the leader of the triplets, but Honey and Caramel never listened to him and always argued who would be in charge. "Hey, Hun, I see something out near the steps," Sugar said with a frown as she looked out the window. "It looks like a cardboard box." Peppermint got off his couch, and he looked out as well. He gave a tilt of his head, and the triplets also joined them. "Maybe it's some presents from Santa Hooves!" Caramel exclaimed, and she gave a wide grin. Cinnamon gave an annoyed and frustrated sigh. "Santa Hooves isn't real, I told you so many times," Cinnamon said, and he rolled his eyes. They soon started to argue about it, and Peppermint sighed, opened the double doors, and walked to the cardboard box. He used his magic to carry the box, walked into the castle, and set the box onto the carpet that was in the middle of the living room. She walked to the box and opened it. She gave a gasp of surprise and shock. It's... Sugar tried to say, but she stammered on her words and tried to take a deep breath. "What is it?" Peppermint asked, and he rubbed her back with his hoof until she calmed down and she took some deep, steady breaths. "It's a foal," Sugar replied, and they looked down at the sleeping foal that was wrapped up in a blanket. "Looks like they are a few weeks old." Peppermint responded with a sad voice, and he lifted the foal out of the box and examined them. They opened their eyes, which were orange like a carrot, but it looked like she was blind. The hair was bright orange like fire, and they had a yellow body. "I think it's a filly. She's got eyelashes, and I wonder who her parents are and why she is here. Maybe they wanted her but couldn't take care of her, or they didn't want her at all." Sugar responded with a sad voice, and she lifted the filly's mane a little. The filly started crying, and Sugar took the filly and walked her into the kitchen, got out a milk bottle, and fed it to the crying filly. She stopped crying and hungrily drank the milk. As the bottle was then taken out of her mouth, she gave a burp, then gave a small smile. "Let's keep you here since you need a home." Sugar walked out of the kitchen with the filly and set her down on the couch in the living room. "Are we going to keep her?" Honey asked with a smile and pleading look in her eyes. "Of course we are, Honey. We can't leave her all alone. The writing on the box said so," Sugar said, and she called the filly close to her chest. She felt a rush of love go through her chest. It was the same feeling she had when Honey, Caramel, and Cinnamon were born. "What are we gonna call her?" Cinnamon asked as he moved a little of the blanket away to stare at the filly's face. "I think we'll name her Fireball." Peppermint responded with a smile. Everpony nodded and stared down at her. As the years went on, Fireball grew up to be a well-behaved, sweet, and feisty filly. She and the triplets got their cutie marks when the triplets were 7 and she turned 8. What was unusual about her was that she had fire magic while the rest of the family had normal unicorn magic like any unicorn. She was told to be careful with it, She was told to be careful with it if she didn't want to cause any trouble in the town or the town some distance away. Fireball did manage it, but couldn't control it if she got angry. At some point, it was going to make fun of her for not being able to see. But she had a goal. She was going to try and find her real parents and demand why she was abandoned when she was just a few weeks old. It was her quest to go find them, and she would never give up.